Baker Mayfield, likely to make his NFL debut. Now, the #1 overall pick and former Heisman Trophy winner says this: the game has, quote, slowed down exponentially since rookie camp. Cece, how big of an adjustment will the speed of the game be for Baker Mayfield in the NFL?
Well, it's an adjustment for all of us. It's not as if it's foreign. It's not like your one guy comes in and says, you know, the league gets it done. Even Ezekiel Elliott, a guy came from Ohio State, recent, had success. Todd Gurley, very, very successful. The speed of the game was still faster than they've ever seen. Now, there are some guys, because of the way they play, they are able to adapt to it quickly. Running backs are the best example because vision and the skill sets that you need to run the football, you need them at all levels to be able to run. So what they've seen is very, very familiar, even though people are moving faster. And what Baker's telling you is the information, too, that he's getting, it's not the first time that he's getting that information, because we have to go back to some of the things that NFL teams and even the New England Patriots, they were intrigued with Baker Mayfield. They were behind the scenes trying to trade for Baker Mayfield. But the important information that I took from it was the Cleveland Browns left interviewing Baker Mayfield, and they thought he had a photographic memory. So the things that he saw in minicamp, the same things he saw in the OTAs, now he's seeing them again for the second, third, and fourth time. Of course, his reaction time is going to be different. Seeing the speed of NFL linebackers, defensive linemen, defensive backs, how much space they can cover 3, cover 2, all those things, he sees that. And also he sees the speed of his players that he has on offense to be faster. So absolutely, I believe this to be true. I don't think he's just saying that to say the right thing. Right. The game should have slowed down for him. And if what the Browns said as far as his photographic memory, if that part is accurate, which I do believe it is, then the game should be slowing down. And it will slow down even more from right now to the first game of the season after getting 4 games under his belt in the preseason.
This is my single biggest concern about Baker's rookie season, and it more so than the other quarterbacks drafted in the first round, outside of Lamar Jackson, who was the last pick of the first round, and he has some positives and negatives that are kind of unique to him. But Josh Allen, Josh Rosen, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, your 4 quarterbacks taking the top half of the first round. Only one of these guys made some of their money in college football running around. Now, Baker won the Heismans based on his throwing stats, based on his prolific, all-time great college quarterback passer rating. I get that. But escapability, escaping pressure, running outside of the pocket, and sometimes running for first downs was a bigger part of his game than Rosen, Darnold, or Josh Allen. And sometimes when we talk about the speed of the game, it's the windows, how fast they close. It's about throws. But sometimes the speed of the game is, I think I can go get that first down with my legs. Oh, my God, that D-end is way faster than anyone Texas Tech ever had, than anyone University of Texas ever had. And so that part of me is always a concern whenever there's a quarterback that I saw. It's a concern for Deshaun Watson in Houston. Any quarterback that made some of their money running the football.
And, Nick, you're making a great point, because that's the only thing in the NFL in practices that's not live. That's the only thing. Because I can guarantee you, he's got a guy that plays in, Myles Garrett, there for the Cleveland Browns, that he wouldn't see the closing speed, because Myles is not allowed to do that because of that colored jersey that they have on. But in the game, it is, man, it's shocking sometimes of how close guys get to you, especially when they finishing on a quarterback, because you're not able to do that. You're not able to practice that. So, Nick, you're making a great point that, man, yeah, he's going to see coverages. Yeah, there's going to be a little bit of difference in game speed. But what he sees from a defensive lineman standpoint and linebackers blitzing and closing on him, and if he decides to run with the football.
And for people who watched Hard Knocks last night, I know the Jarvis Landry thing stole the show, and we're actually going to be able to play some of that for you later in the show. But there was one moment where a quarterback got hit. And it was Myles Garrett, and it was Baker Mayfield, and it was in a situation where there was a fumble. And so Myles was trying to dive on the fumble. Baker was trying to get on the fumble. And you heard the GM, John Dorsey, yell from the sideline, "Don't hit the quarterback." And Miles came to the sideline, I think said to his teammates, I was trying not to hit him. But, like, they are the protected species out there, and they should be. Like, we know how valuable these guys are, and that part is always the concern to me. Now, what he will be able to learn is, I thought I could fit it in that window. Oh, man. That corner, Denzel Ward. Now, I know he's a rookie as well, so he played against a guy like that in college, but not that many guys like that in college. Oh, he can go close that window quicker than guys I'm used to.
And sometimes it's just not in the beginning of the season. If you take a look at RG3, the thing that altered his career, it wasn't early because he had a very successful rookie season. But late in that season, he ran into a guy named Haloti Ngata,
who doesn't look like he should be fast.
And you would have never thought that he ever experienced to get hit by a defensive lineman. But Haloti caught him on the sideline. So based from his defensive line stance, Haloti Ngata ran probably around 30 yards to get to RG3. And that one hit that shattered his knee, all right, that changed RG3's career. Okay. So Nick's making a great point as far as the speed and, man, those defensive linemen getting to you, and eventually you're not going to figure it out until one of them hits you in the game.
Certainly. No, just as an observation of Baker, he seems like a very self-aware guy, because I feel like a lot of the points y'all are making is about the self-awareness of some of these individuals to understand what some of the limitations may be when they make this transition from college to pro, right? He strikes me as a young man who has had a mental toughness that we normally don't see just because of the kind of underdog status he's enjoyed his entire career, this whole transition. So it just seems like he will be more self-aware and not overestimate his ability to do what you're talking about, Nick.
I think, listen, I think that is true. I also think the flip side of that is one of the reasons he went number one, one of the reasons he struck Cris in a 5-minute conversation and a handshake in Ohio State, Oklahoma, one of the reasons he struck Hugh Jackson is he has, even by NFL standards, even by quarterback standards, a self-confidence that is almost unlike anyone. I don't want to say anyone else, but that is rare for anybody in the NFL or in any walk of life. And sometimes that self-confidence gets you in trouble. Sometimes that self-confidence can be like, I can still do this. And so the RG3 example is a great one because he rolled the dice and kept hitting sevens. And finally, he rolled the dice one time, got snake eyes, and it, like you said, altered his career. And RG3 isn't Baker. RG3 was sleight of frame. RG3 was a 4-3 guy. I get all of that. But it's just you are eventually going to run into a guy who is going to catch you. And so that is why we hear guys say all the time, you got to be able to play from the pocket, got to be able to make plays downfield with your arm. He can do all of that. It's in a weird way, I'm less worried about Sam Darnold on this stuff because Darnold's not going to be trying that type of stuff. And because he doesn't have the athletic ability to do it. While Baker was the smallest of any of the first-round quarterbacks, he graded out as the best athlete of all of them except for Lamar. Like, he was the best athlete except for Lamar, and I wonder how much that's going to potentially work against him early on.
Yeah, there's a lot of things when you're a number one pick that working against you, but the reason why I believe Baker will have the most successful career of all the quarterbacks that were drafted in the first round is because he has a huge advantage starting out. He does not have the pressure that a normal number one player would have because he doesn't have to play week number one necessarily. Sure. Now, Sam Darnold, he's in New York City. He was drafted. I believe there's more pressure on Sam Darnold to be able to play than Baker Mayfield. And I believe that Baker Mayfield has the best group of skilled guys, healthy, right now in his first year. All right? Because I don't know what Josh Rosen. If Josh Rosen gets in there with Larry Fitzgerald and David Johnson, now they could be special. But I don't know when Josh is going to play. But for Baker,
it's certainly better than the Jets, certainly better than the Bills. I think better than the Ravens as well. Like there's no, I mean, Jarvis is turning some heads, and what Baker also has is the best quarterback ahead of him.
Yes.
Tyrod Taylor. And a guy that, if people watch Hard Knocks or listen to you, Hugh Jackson and that staff, they really like Tyrod. And they're not going to feel the pressure or the need to insert Baker day one.
And if you give me all 5 quarterbacks and you give me all 5 of the quarterback coaches or coordinators coaching them, I'm putting my money on Todd Haley to get the wine from the grape. not grape juice. I'm talking about wine. And that's what I expect Todd, and that's the advantage that Baker has over those other quarterbacks. And those other quarterbacks, they're in good situations. I believe that Baker is in a great situation.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.